You know, for years, when we talked about digital transformation, it was really all about telling our systems what to do. But something's changed. We've actually just crossed a huge threshold. We are now stepping into a new era where systems are starting to figure out why things are happening, not just what is happening. This is all about how an organization, yep, even a government, can build its own cognitive layer, basically a digital brain. So let's dive in and see how this new kind of intelligence is really taking shape. I mean, just put yourself in that person's shoes for a second. This is the day-to-day reality for leaders everywhere, right? It's a constant flood of information, 100 different pressures pulling you in different directions. And you've got to make these critical calls with, let's be honest, an incomplete picture. The stakes are incredibly high, and the right path forward, it is almost never obvious.
But what if we could change all that? What if you could give that leader and their entire team a tool that doesn't just throw more data at them, but actually gives them foresight? This is the big idea we're digging into today. This concept of a shared digital institutional brain that learns and reasons right alongside the people it's designed to serve.
All right, so to really grasp this leap, we have to draw a clear line in the sand. We need to separate what we've been doing for the last decade from where we're going next. It's time to move beyond being just smart and start becoming truly intelligent. Look, we've all seen this. We have amazing tools like Power BI that create these absolutely stunning dashboards. We're collecting massive amounts of data, and we've gotten really, really good at summarizing it and making it look pretty. This is what we call the smart era. And it's been useful, but it has a ceiling. Here's the problem with only being smart. Those dashboards, they can only ever tell you what already happened. They can't answer the deeper, more important questions that leaders are wrestling with. You know, why is this project falling behind schedule? What's the ripple effect going to be if we shift this budget around? And the big one, out of all our choices, what is the absolute best move we can make right now? And this table just lays it all out crystal clear. On one side, you've got the smart dashboards we all know and love. They're great for describing the past, but they have zero capacity to learn or look ahead. On the other side, intelligent twins. This is the new game. It's a system that doesn't just describe what happened, it brings together this whole loop of logic to predict what's coming and even prescribe the best actions to take, all while constantly learning from new information.
And that shift, right there, is what we can call the cognitive era. This isn't just about faster computers or bigger data sets. No, this is a fundamental change where our systems go from being passive little bookkeepers of facts to active participants in understanding the cause and effect that drives an entire organization.
So how does one of these intelligent twins actually work? What's under the hood? Well, its intelligence isn't just one monolithic thing. It's really a blend of 3 separate but totally connected capabilities. Let's break them down. First up, you've got descriptive intelligence. This is the foundation. It sees exactly what's happening in real time. Then, building on top of that, you have predictive intelligence, which asks, okay, based on what we see, what's probably going to happen next? It's like a warning system, forecasting risks before they become full-blown problems. And finally, and this is the real game changer, you have prescriptive intelligence. This is the part that says, so what are we going to do about it? It runs all these simulations and actually recommends the best way forward. See? It's a constant loop. See, predict, act, and then learn from the outcome. Now, I know that might sound a little bit abstract, so let's make it real. Let's take a look at how this cognitive loop actually plays out in a real-world scenario. This is where the rubber meets the road. So, picture a huge government authority. They're in charge of hundreds of massive infrastructure projects all at once. Every single day, there's just this torrent of data coming in, progress reports, payments, updates from contractors, even feedback from citizens. It is the definition of information overload. Now, in the old way of doing things, all that data would just sit in a pile, maybe in a bunch of inboxes, and someone would get around to reviewing it at the end of the month. By that point, it's ancient history. With the cognitive approach, like what we see in the JOSOR system, every single piece of data gets processed the instant it arrives. That institutional brain is always on. So think about it. When a tiny approval delay happens in one department, the old way means you wouldn't see the huge, disastrous ripple effect for weeks, maybe even months. The new way, the system spots that dependency immediately. It understands the downstream impact, it runs a bunch of simulations on how to fix the workflow, and it pings the manager with a recommended solution. Night and day. And this is the real magic right here. The system doesn't just fix the problem that one time. It learns the pattern. It updates its own understanding. So the next time a similar situation even starts to brew, the organization is already way ahead of the curve. The institution itself has actually learned and gotten better. That's the cognitive loop closing. It's amazing. All right, I know what some of you are probably thinking. I've heard about digital twins before. This sounds familiar. Why is this time any different? And that is a perfectly fair question. The answer is all about the foundation that's been built. See, a lot of the older attempts at this, they failed because they were basically just fancy data warehouses. They could suck in information from different departments, sure, but they had no clue about the relationships between that data. A budget cut in finance and a project delay in public works were just two separate facts in a database. There was no semantic link, no shared language for the system to understand that one actually caused the other. What makes today totally different is the ecosystem. This isn't just some cool idea living in a lab. It's being built on a solid national framework. You've got bodies like the Digital Government Authority, or DGA, setting the standards so all the data can actually talk to each other. You have DEEM, the Government Secure Cloud, providing the horsepower. And you have the Saudi Data and AI Authority, SDAI, making sure there's strong governance and ethics in place. The plumbing, the foundation, and the rulebook are already there. The pipes are laid for this to scale. Okay, so let's wrap this up. If you remember nothing else from our chat today, remember these 4 things. First, this is not science fiction. Systems like Jasor prove that cognitive government is real and it's working today. Second, its power comes from weaving those 3 intelligences, descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive, into one seamless learning cycle. Third, the AI is the engine that turns raw data into genuine understanding, and that understanding into smart action. And finally, the whole national ecosystem is ready to go, which means this is ready to scale up big time. And that really brings us to the core message here, which I think is just perfectly captured in this quote. This is not some far-off dream for the future. It's a mission that's already happening, built on a solid foundation, and it's about to change how organizations work. And that really just leaves us with one last big question to think about. Once an institution, an entire government, gains the ability to learn, to see around corners, and to adapt in real time, what are the limits? What kind of huge, complex problems could we finally start to solve?